I clicked the got it thing and everything disappeared. You disappeared, everything disappeared.
I always wanted to disappear.
There have been times I wanted you to disappear. It's the May 16th episode of Health Tech Deals.
All right.
Well, sometimes you just fall right into the opening of the show.
I'm still here, despite your best efforts, wishes, desires, and everything else. Sorry.
For anybody who is curious about how genuine an exchange that was 100% genuine. Had a whole different opening planned and then just decided to go with that. All right. So what we were going to talk about was you were going to let Matthew Holt give some investment advice to Elon Musk as it relates to where he should go next.
I am all done with Elon Musk. Elon Musk should.
You're done with him. He's dead.
He should give up on Twitter, which apparently he has done or is doing, and buy Chelsea Football Club instead. Cost him a lot less money, be a lot more fun, and won't be nearly as controversial. Well, pretty controversial, but and then we need some good players for the summer. For next season.
That's convenient for you, but what about the rest of us?
Well, I wanted to leave Twitter alone, and I want someone rich who wants to invest lots of money, doesn't care losing money, to invest in Chelsea.
Okay.
So that works out for me. So
Well, yeah, and that's all that really matters.
That is all that really matters. I'm glad you figured that out. This is why you want me to disappear, isn't it?
No.
You think I'm a purely selfish guy who only cares about himself.
Poof. We need to sponsor special effects on this show. Please hit us up. All right, get your timer ready. Speaking of sponsorship, anybody want to sponsor that timer, Rooster? He/she is still out there.
All right. Well, we did you want Elon Musk to come into healthcare?
What?
Did you want Elon Musk to come into healthcare?
I think why not come into healthcare? I mean, he's taken on tech, he's taken on payments, he's taken on solar power, electric vehicles, Hyperloop, that tunnel underground, space travel. Why not just do this? I mean,
well, yeah, plenty of people in healthcare who should be sent to Mars. I'll give you that. There are several organizations in healthcare where if we could just send them to Mars.
And disappearing is the theme of this episode. Disappearing. All right. I think dollar amounts here headed into some startups. Let's hope
they should figure out some actual funding instead.
Let's do it. All right. Osmind gets 40 million, brings their total up to 57. This is an EHR for mental health companies that also does some analysis, some big investors in this one. What do you think, Matthew?
This is, I think they're trying to do the Flatiron thing, right? They're trying to get people in mental health to put their data into the records and then somehow take the data out of that and sell it to drug companies. Maybe improving clinical trials and maybe improving drugs. Really hard to do. It cost, Flatiron spent a lot of time and effort, and they were kind of lucky that Roche dug them out of the hole they were in. There's a lot of work in that. I think it's very touchy for mental health. Maybe.
All right. Turquoise Health says they want to make buying healthcare as easy as buying a plane ticket. Get 20 million in a Series A. Andreessen led it. Tiger's in this. Box Group, Bessemer, some nice investors in that one.
This is clever, actually. So I spoke to the CEO at a party, and I think by the end of the conversation, he convinced me it was a good idea. I was drunk, but I think what the idea is that you sell that hospitals who have to put up their prices, need someone to manage that process. And if they can come and manage that process for lots of hospitals, they can do something with that data. They can share it with health plans. There's actually a back office function for them to do that, and that's where they're going to make their money. And maybe they'll make press transparency easier for everybody. But I think it's mostly a back office function, which they'll do well with.
All right, maternal and reproductive health company Mahmee gets 9 million, takes their total up to 12.
Yeah, Melissa Howell, the CEO here, she showed this at Health 2.0 a few years ago. It's great. It's all that mental reproductive health, especially for Medicaid and for minorities. Serena Williams was an investor in this one. Now it's Goldman Sachs, but basically it's a great idea. Put together lactation consultants, doulas, midwives, nurses, doctors, give people what they need to surround that early childhood, pregnancy through early childhood phase, very important.
And if you need independent lactation consultants via telemed, you can go with Simplifed. They raised 6 million.
Yeah, this is Andrea Polito. She had a scheduling company that she sold to Athena Health. And now she's doing this telehealth lactation consulting thing. Again, she's going to sell this to Medicaid and health plans. the main point about this is that I tried to help her, right? I introduced her to all these VCs because I thought it was a great idea. We do need, better lactation consulting is one of those things where it could be done over telehealth much more efficiently and effectively than the way it's done now, and more people need help with that. So I introduced all these VCs. None of them are the ones who funded her. so much help I was, but I think it's a great. She's a good second-time CEO, and I think it'll do well. It may
how
be.
Is this not a feature in somebody else's thing, like Mahmee or Maven or something? Like, how is this not a feature? I mean,
it probably ends up being a feature on somebody else's product, or she has to go much more to where Mahmee's gone, right, with a lot of wider sense for maternal child health. We'll see. The other question is, lactation consulting is one of these incredibly cottage industry type things. And if you could create a brand around it, maybe that alone is enough to make a business. We'll see. I like her. Good luck to her. It's something that needs doing. A lot of mums have problems with this, but yeah, you may be right. It may just be a feature on somebody else's product. We shall see how she does.
I love that. So I love this one.
So basically, if you think about it,
videos was like all about you. It's like, this one I met at a bar and they convinced me that it was great. This one I tried to introduce them to investors, but none of them invested. It's like weighing in on the deals with those little personal anecdotes, man.
Well, I've never met the Osmind people, so and they're the ones who think it's very hard.
Guys, reach out.
But the Turquoise Health one, I don't think there's a consumer market for buying, for like getting transparency. Cast-Light tried this ages ago, but because the providers now have to publish their rates and it's such a mess in their back end, I think if they come along and say, we'll solve that problem for you, they probably will have a good market. What actually happens to that data, whether we actually get anywhere closer to price transparency in a real world effort that actually changes anything, is another matter. But I think it's a sort of data play that, the data and services play, they'll probably do well. And, Julie Yu was all keen on this one, so we never want to bet against Julie.
Julie Yu made a chart that she had a little picture that explained how this worked.
Of course.
You can find that on Julie Yu's Twitter, which is infinitely more helpful than either one of ours. He is at Bolty Boy. What? I'm not wrong. He is at Bolty Boy. I am at Jess DaMassa. And to never miss an episode of Health Tech Deals, even when they start out so lackadaisically, but pick up as they get going, you can head on over to thehealthcareblog.com and sign up for our email newsletter, and you'll get all of the Healthcare Deal episodes, plus my WTF Health interviews, Matthew's interviews, and the best of the blog delivered directly to your inbox every week or whenever we feel like sending it out. That's it. Bye. Wax on.
Self-centered, by leaving. Bye.
Disappearing. Here he goes. And poof, we're out.
We're gone.